Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our first meeting of 2021. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I will ask our district attorney to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Thank you. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America,
to the republic
for which it
stands,
stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, so I before we get to the reorganization, I'll trust everybody had an opportunity to review the minutes from last month's meeting, and assuming that you have and nobody has any problems with them, I'll entertain a motion to approve the meetings from December, or the minutes from December's meeting.
So moved. Second.
Second. On the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Tracy, anything from the public on agenda items?
No, we received one email, but it's about books and medical care. And
Right.
I'll read that at the end.
Okay. All right. So we'll move on. And so now we have to reorganize. So I will step aside, and we need somebody to make a motion to appoint a chairman and a vice chairman for this
I'd
year.
like to make a motion to appoint Judge Gibbons as chairman.
I'll second that.
I'll second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I abstain.
Okay. Vice chair. Anyone interested in making a motion to appoint a vice chair?
I would make a motion to appoint Sheriff McAndrew as vice chair.
Second that.
On the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I abstain.
The ayes have it. So not exactly new blood, but
Good blood.
not a long line of aspirants or aspirants, I should say, standing in line. So I thank you all for your support. Sheriff, congratulations on being vice chairman.
Thank you all very much.
You know, so I don't know. We'll have to go back in the archives, Tracy, and see how many years I'm here. I can probably tell by looking at Judge Giraldo's scars, because that's when I took over as chair when he had to have his surgery. But that's a question for another day. So we will proceed further with our next motion is to set a regularly scheduled meeting dates and times for the prison board, generally held on the third Wednesday of the month at 12:30, unless otherwise specified, as we're doing today, because last Wednesday was something else was going on that we needed to change it to today. So I'll entertain that motion.
Motion.
Second.
On the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. So once again, staying consistent, we'll have our meetings on the third Wednesday of every month at 12:30. Hopefully, at some point this year, we will be able to get back into our face-to-face meetings and get out of Zoom. But monitor that and keep it on the front burner. Next is a motion to follow Robert's Rules of Order for conducting our prison board meetings. They've worked well for us so far, so I'll entertain a motion to continue to do that.
Motion.
Second.
On the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. We'll go with Robert's Rules of Order. So now we'll get to more substantive motions. I'll entertain a motion to approve all current payables for the Community Correction Center and the prison. Item number 21-2003 on your agenda. I trust everybody's had an opportunity to review them. Tracy, as she always does so efficiently, gotten them out to us in advance. So assuming that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the payables.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second.
on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. So the current payables for the Community Correction Center and the prison will be paid. So now I have a motion to pre-approve and audit bills and certify for payment all bills which routinely fall within the adopted budget, and that all invoices which do not fall within the adopted budget parameters be brought here to the board meeting for pre-approval for payment and to approve payroll at the monthly meetings. Do I hear someone putting forth that motion?
Make a motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. That motion carries. Next, we'll proceed to our reports. Controller DeBillio, you're up. May we have your controller's report, please? Gary,
I think that the controller is having audio issues, so if we want to move on to the Community
Okay.
Correction Center report.
we can tell by the exasperation on his face that he's having some kind of issues.
Okay.
There's a button on the bottom of your screen, Gare, that you may have to push.
I'm gonna call over there and see if I can,
Okay.
okay?
So in the meantime, let's hop over that and we'll go to the Community Corrections report. If we can beam in Mr. Jeffers. There he is. Afternoon, Mr. Jeffers.
Good afternoon, Judge. Good afternoon, Board.
Good afternoon.
May we, Happy New Year to you, and may we kindly have your report for the Community Corrections Center.
Yes, sir. And actually, this is for December, but it's the end of the year report.
Okay,
Item 1, the adult house arrest had 120 participants in it. This is for the month of December right now. Juvenile house arrest had 10 participants. For the month of December, the revenues brought in were $32,569.15. Item 3, the program's expenses for December were $69,899.36. Item 4, programs completions, house arrest had 16. Item 5, programs violations, house arrest had 5. Item 6, the program's warrants stand at 6 for work release and 1 for house arrest. And the final budget report of the year was overtime was at 54%, expenses were at 82%, and revenue was at 59%. For the board's information, the end of the year, we ended up with $417,653.62, which was obviously only 59% of what we were hoping to bring into. We were used to bringing in around $710,000 a year. Obviously, COVID-19 stopped that and brought that down since we're only doing house arrest. For the board's notes, one of the larger pieces of the budget that was over budget this year was the drug testing. The laboratory fees and the blood tests were over by about $12,452. The reason being for that was instead of having our personnel in a closed bathroom, taking urine samples from the individuals. They were sent to our vendor, Northern Tier, and Northern Tier has they had the full gowns and everything, all the PPE that could go along with that. So they began testing them for us and continue to this day to test them for us on a daily basis. And for that, they charge us $25 a test. So along with the regular fees, that is why that is over if you're looking at the budget performance report.
Okay.
If there's any other questions, I can answer them for you.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Jeffers?
Nope.
Okay. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve his report.
And one final item. So the budget will say, Your Honor, about $264,000 under budget from what we budgeted for this year. It should be noted that there's about $30,000 in outstanding bills for December that are still being processed.
Okay.
That's all. I'm sorry. That's
all right. No, appreciate that.
Why would there still be outstanding bills at this time in the middle of January?
Well, they have till I think till January 31st to get December's bills paid. That happens every year right around now. I don't really have the answer, but the moral of the story is that does happen at some point.
There it is.
All right. Any other questions for Mr. Jeffers?
I think we got it.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve his report.
Motion.
We have a motion and a second on the question.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jeffers.
Thank you, Board.
You can beam out now if you want.
Bye.
Welcome to stay, but Mr. DeBillio, you back online?
I think I'm back on.
Yes.
I can confirm that.
All right, good. Thank you. Yes, Your Honor, and board members, are you ready for my report?
Yes, we are.
Controller's report for December 2020. The Controller's Office reviewed the prison inmate and canteen account reconciliations, which were prepared by the Prison Business Office for the month of December 2020, and found no discrepancies between the reconciliations and the bank statements. The balance in the inmate account was $495,733.56 as of December 31st of 2020. The balance in the canteen checking account was $533,947.71 as of December 31st of 2020. In addition, as of December 31st, the canteen account owned 2 certificates of deposit, one valued at $15,000 and the other at $132,272.10, which totaled $147,272.10. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. DeBillio. Anybody have any questions for the controller? Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve his report.
Motion.
Second,
Second.
on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the controller's report is approved. So now we'll go to the warden's report. Welcome, Warden.
The average daily population for December 2020 was 623 inmates, 451 were county inmates. As of January 14th, we had 601 inmates, 542 were male, 5 juvenile males, and 54 adult females. The population of U.S. Marshal Service detainees as of 1/14 was 164 individuals. Our overtime and out-of-county boarding reports are attached. There was one error there that Reggie from the Controller's Office pointed out to me. The very last pay period. I had accidentally added the overtime for 2 different pay periods together. The last line should read 97,000, which is good news for us because our overtime for the year is 49.35% of what was budgeted. So that's good news, better news. The staffing update, currently we have 168 full-timers on shift. We have 1 out on workers' comp, 1 on continuous FMLA with 57 intermittent FMLA. We have 1 on administrative leave, 5 who were out due to COVID-related matters, and 2 full-time vacancies, a total of 178 full-time officers. The budget, as of December 31st, revenue was at 69%, expenses were at 99%. Inmate manifested minimums, 14 total. 8 have submitted home plans or are awaiting parole. 2 have no home plans. 1 has had parole denied due to an unacceptable home plan. 3 have been remanded for the balance of their sentences. There were no extraordinary occurrences since the last prison board meeting. And there were 4 pre-investigations completed in December. 3 were allegations of staff on inmate sexual harassment. All 3 were deemed unfounded. And 1 was an allegation of inmate on inmate abusive sexual contact. It was deemed founded. All 4 investigations were forwarded to the district attorney's office. Other topics: the prison's new medical provider, WellPath, began operations on the 15th. WellPath will be providing the inmate population with expanded mental health assistance, and will also be providing medically assisted treatment services. And this concludes my report.
Did the handoff go reasonably smoothly between medical providers?
Yes, it did. Yeah, and I have a lot to thank for, especially Deputy Wardens Purvis and Traveny. They both stayed extra hours that night and did a great job with the transition. So kudos to both of them.
Okay. How are our 3 new deputy wardens working out?
Everything is working out wonderfully. We, as you know, Your Honor, we have 1, Bill Shanley, who's in charge of security, Krista Purvis in charge of treatment, and Gordon Traveny in charge of operations. We're meeting every week to make sure that we stay coordinated and that everybody kind of stays in their lane, which is a good thing because it allows them to focus and concentrate on what's underneath each of them. And it's working out wonderfully.
Are you delegating?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for the warden? How's the COVID situation?
Right now we have a handful of individuals, inmate-wise, with positive tests. And we seem to be, I would say, since the end of November, since after Thanksgiving forward, it seems like we always have 5 to 15 individuals, staff-wise, that have had close contact with someone who had COVID. So it's been an issue, but we're doing the best we can to deal with it.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for the warden? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the warden's report.
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. The warden's report is approved. Thank you, Warden. Stick around because I think the question we have from the public, you might be able to provide some answers. And so, Tracy, we just have the one you mentioned?
Yes, that's all that I received.
Okay. Would you be good enough to read it, please?
Sure. It's from Bev DeBarros. She says, "Dear friends, when Colleen Orzel asked for more AA and purpose-driven life books, because the 98 copies of each have been distributed by request over these months, the World Book Bank organization shipped 12 more cartons. Also, I estimate that these are 1,500 books that are in our book room that could be and should be given out to those who want to read. I suggest that 40 books be selected and delivered to each unit for the women or men to share. After 1 week, these should be gathered, replaced with fresh ones, and set aside for the 72 hours required to quarantine of materials. This procedure can be used until we resume providing books and magazines by our volunteers directly to individuals. And I trust that the medical care at our jail with the new providers is much better than before. I ask, number one, how many female inmates have been in the Lackawanna County Prison for more than a year? And number two, if a woman remains at the Lackawanna County Prison for more than a year, will she receive an annual exam that includes a pelvic exam, pap smear, and mammogram? Thank you.
Okay, so I'll note that I believe the timestamp on that question came in late yesterday afternoon. Tracy, am I right with that?
Sunday evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tracy got it to me and this morning, and I got it over to the warden. So, Warden, I don't know whether you're able to respond to any of that at this point.
Yeah, I can respond to some of it.
Okay.
One, I'd like to start with just mentioning that currently today we have 54 female offenders to address the last part of Bev's question. Of those 54, I honestly don't know how many have been here for over a year. I did not have a time to check that, but generally speaking, our average length of stay is about 60 days. So I'm going to guess that there might be 1 or 2 women. I did call down to speak with our new medical provider to make sure that my understanding was correct in that they will provide annual exams to the female offenders that would include a pap smear. Yes. Mammograms, not unless it's called for. There may not be a reason for, say, a 23-year-old woman to have a mammogram just because she's been in jail for a year. If there's no history there or anything, there's no reason for that. So they did address that. That is the intent. Anybody who's here, they will get an annual exam. So that's good news. Regarding the books, I know that there was an issue in the past with the way that the books were received, and I don't have a direct answer on that other than I'm gonna look into that later on today. I will tell you that there's both free and for purchase books that are available on the tablets that we recently instituted throughout the facility. So there's free books on that, but I will take a look at, Bev had mentioned something about 1,500 books in a room. I'm going to get together with Deputy Warden Shanley, our Deputy Warden of Security, and talk to him about that. I know there were a couple issues as to how they were donated and that there were some security related concerns there. So if I can get the boards okay to get an afternoon to get that under my belt, I'll do that.
Well, absolutely. Do what you need to do to get a complete answer. That's all, Okay. All right. Anybody have anything else for the warden? Okay. Does any members have other business than what was on today's agenda? All right. Well, if not, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second?
Second.
I didn't think anybody wanted to stand there for a minute. So on the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. We are adjourned. Thank you all. Thank you again, Tracy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.